Hey guys, I wanted to make a video about my birth story this time around because it blows my mind between the times and the prayers answered, and I think it'd be good for everybody to hear because I think it's fantastic. Also, if you are grossed out by birth stories, turn it off now because birthing is gross. Okay, so I had her on Thursday morning at, how far along was I? 40 weeks and 5 days. Um, oh my goodness, how do I already forget what I'm going to say? Okay, so I've got my little hospital notes here. And the times aren't, I wish I would have looked at the clock when I was doing it. So basically the times are going off with my Fitbit, saying like when I got restless and when I woke up. But the first time I got restless was at 11:20 that night. I went to bed about 10 o'clock that night. First contraction, 11:20, I'm guessing it said is when I got restless. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go back to bed, thinking it's just a Braxton Hicks. 11:39 p.m. It says is when I woke up. So about that time, I got my second contraction, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go take a shower, see if it stops these contractions. As I am walking down the stairs, this is on Wednesday night, as I am walking down the stairs, I feel a little trickle. And with my other two, they broke my water, so that came gushing out, which is what I expected this time around. So I'm getting this trickle going down the stairs, thinking it's just one of the gross parts of pregnancy, honestly. So I get downstairs, I get in the shower, and then I get out of the shower, and not a gush, but a good amount of fluid came out of me. I'm like, okay, that's gotta be water. Like, there's no way that's some of the other stuff that happens when you're 40 weeks pregnant. And so I texted Rusty, who was asleep, at 12:28 a.m., saying, if you hear this, come downstairs. He didn't hear it, so I got dressed. I went upstairs, and I told him, hey, I think my water broke. I'm going to call labor and delivery, see what's going on. I'll let you know. And so he went back to bed. I came downstairs. I called labor and delivery at 12:45. And they said, well, it sounds like your water broke. Come on in. And now my birth plan was to stay at home as long as possible. But I was not expecting my water to break. So this totally broke my birthing plan. Oh, I never told you the first part of this. Okay, so at my 40-week checkup, which would have been on a Friday, that Friday before this, he said, okay, well, should we schedule your induction? And I was like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be induced. And he said, okay, well, we don't want you to go past whatever. They don't want you to go past. I think it's probably 41 weeks. I don't know. And I was like, well, I don't want to be induced. He's like, well, why don't we schedule your induction for Friday morning, and maybe it'll put you into labor. Like, thinking about it, he's like, that happens sometimes. I said, no, I don't want to do that. So he said, all right, why don't you come in Thursday morning? We will check you again and see what's going on. So we rescheduled my next appointment for that Thursday morning at, I think it was like 8:30 or 9:30. I can't remember exactly. I'm pretty sure it was 8:30. So from there on out, I become a prayer warrior, you guys. I do not want to be induced. I was praying to God nonstop. Like, God, please let this baby come before my appointment on Thursday. Please, 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 please. Nonstop. That prayer is basically running through my head. Okay, so back to on the way to the hospital. Get off the phone with labor and delivery. I said, okay, it's going to be a while. I got to get my kids ready, drop them off, and I live about 40 minutes away. So I get to the hospital, and I didn't have any contractions on the way to the hospital. Get to the hospital about 2 a.m., and I am 4 centimeters dilated when they checked me. And at my 40-week checkup, I was 2 centimeters dilated. So they checked me, made sure it was my water that broke, and said, yep, you're in labor, so you're staying. I was like, okay, well, that is awesome because I have been praying that this baby comes before my appointment on Thursday. And my labor started, I don't want to say down to the minute because it's not down to the minute, but basically, you guys, like my first contractions at 11:20. I get out of bed at 11:39. I texted Rusty at 12:28 saying, like, I think my water broke, or come downstairs right after my water broke. So sometime between 11:39 and 12:28, my water broke. And if that doesn't blow your mind, like, I'm praying to God that this baby comes before Thursday. Like, I don't know, it blows my mind. So that's almost down to the minute. That is dang close. So I'm staying at the hospital, and they say, like, you have 24 hours to deliver the baby before it gets dangerous or whatever, because my water had broken. So that put it in my head, like, all right, it's go time. We got to get this baby out. So me and Rusty start walking the little square that they have. You know, I'm bouncing on the birthing ball, walking, whatever. About 4 a.m., Rusty said, well, why don't you try some country heat? Fantastic idea. So I did country heat, one of the country heat workouts at 4 a.m. And they checked me again after that. And I was dilated to a 7 or an 8, she said. She said she could stretch me out to an 8. So after that, I get in the tub, thinking, all right, this has got to get pretty painful here soon. And this time I don't have Pitocin. I had Pitocin with Allie and Tanner. So I'm thinking, all right, it's got to get painful here soon. And don't get me wrong. I mean, it was painful, but it was tolerable pain when, I don't know, I don't want to make it sound like it wasn't hard, but, I mean, especially when I was doing country heat, when I was actively moving, those contractions were basically nothing. So that made a huge difference versus when I was sitting still. Like, when they were checking me, the contractions went up because I couldn't move. I was stuck there. So if you're going to have a baby anytime soon, remember that. Actually move, because it made them feel so much better. So yeah, I get in the tub. I didn't spend very much time in the tub because their water didn't get very hot, and I like hot baths. So I get out. She checks me again at 6:55 a.m. And she said I was at an 8. She could stretch me to a 9. So basically, it's almost go time. After that, good job. After that, things did start to, contractions were starting to get pretty bad. But you guys, okay, so every single contraction I had, I was basically saying the exact same prayer every single contraction, saying, thank you, God, for this contraction, and I pray that, you know, it is doing what it needs to do. It's opening my cervix. Just please, Lord, let every contraction be working and doing what it needs to do for my body to have this baby. So, the nurse left the room. I don't remember why she came in. If she came in right after that, or I don't remember. So the nurse left the room, and I got off the bed. Oh no! Try jumping, but don't jump back on the chair. Jump on the floor. So the nurse left the room, and I got off the bed. And the second I got off that bed, well, I meant jump up and try to get it. Well, jump off the chair, but jump up. I got off the bed, and I was like, oh, I gotta push now. There's nothing to do. I gotta push. So I'm bending over the bed, starting to push, and she comes back in, and she's like, whoa, we gotta get you on the bed. I was like, sorry, no, all my energy is going into pushing, basically. I'm sorry, I can't get on the bed. Okay, give me 1 second, okay? So the nurse, Rusty, and I don't know if somebody helped him or not, but put me back on the bed. Doctor comes in. 2 pushes later, here was little Hannah Mae. She was born at 7:41 a.m. Everything went smooth. Everything went great. All my prayers were answered. And basically, I wanted to share this with you guys because Like, if my appointment was at 8:30, 9:30 that morning, and I had been praying to God all week long that this baby comes before Thursday, comes before my appointment, my labor starts right before midnight. And then I have her right before my scheduled appointment. That is insane. Absolutely insane, you guys. And it just goes to show that prayers do get answered, you know. You just gotta give God your desires, and it's gonna happen. It's crazy to me. Just crazy. As if this wasn't enough. You know, I have all this happening. And it's just awesome. So, yeah, that's my birth story. And that's all I got for you. Have a good day.